The honeymoon phase is the peak of any relationship where feelings of love and happiness are up to the max. Some say that this period won't last long, but for former Miss South Africa Natasha Joubert and her husband Enrico Vermaak, it doesn't show any signs of stopping. We join Natasha at the Mangwanani Spa for a little R&R. Today we are at Mangwanani African Spa in Monte Casino, and I will be joined by newly married and former Miss South Africa Natasha Vermaak for an all-girls spa day.
Hello.
Oh.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for coming. You look absolutely stunning as usual.
No, so's you.
Natasha, it has been forever since I've seen you, and you've literally become somebody's wife in the time that we haven't seen each other. Have you had any time at all to process that fabulous wedding?
Yes, I would say like I've settled in now, but the 6 months prior to my wedding, girl, when you get engaged, come to me, let's have a coffee. I'm going to give you all the advice because it is hard work.
Natasha and IT guru Enrico Vermaak had been together for almost a decade when Enrico popped the big question whilst on a yacht cruise in Cape Town. They first met at a friend's party in 2015 and the chemistry was instant.
Do you have any favorite memories of the day or even leading up to the day?
So the morning of my wedding, it was like 7 o'clock. I wake up, I'm like, okay, I only have to do hair and makeup at 10ish. There's literally no mountains in sight. It's drizzling. It's like clouds 360. My whole wedding was outside, so I'm panicking. I'm like, this is not the vision. You know when you wake up and you just feel in the mood of the weather, like you just either feel a little bit, I want to stay in bed, or... So my wedding day, I was like, we need to bring the energy. And it turned out to be the best day ever.
Oh, and it was so beautiful to watch. One of my favorite moments has to be that video you posted of you revealing your dress to your bridesmaids. That was stunning. Can you walk me through that memory?
Honestly, I was anxious. So I kept my dress a complete secret from everyone. My mother didn't know, my sister, like no one knew. And so the last dress fitting, when I didn't even collect it, I just went to fit. My grandfather went with me to Porch and we drove together and I was like, okay, Gumpy, you can see my second dress, but not the main dress. And when I was there, I couldn't help. I was like, Gumpy, do you want to see my dress? And we felt so like actually naughty because he couldn't tell my grandmother, because my grandmother is also a fashionista. And so he just took his pictures on his phone. He's like, I won't show anyone. I'm like, Gumpy, you really can't. This is like a state secret. And when they saw me, you get emotional because I think, the emotions does build. And it's more towards Enrico, your husband, but then there's so many other people who make this possible and make you feel so special.
Oh, and the dress design. How did you get to it? What was the inspiration behind it?
This was hard. This was hard. Like, you would know perfectly well how hard it is to find something that takes your breath away after wearing so many beautiful gowns. It's hard. You go to shoots, events, you went to international, like you wear exquisite gowns and you feel beautiful many times. There's a few moments, But I knew from the get-go Yolandi was making my dress. I mean, we've walked such a long way since making my Miss Universe gowns, my handover Miss South Africa gowns, so obviously she was gonna make my wedding gown. I trust her fully. I wanted to feel extra. I'm an extra person, okay? A little bit of bling ain't hurting no one.
Now, planning a wedding is no easy feat. You have had the process of planning it. The wedding day has passed. I feel like you are very deserving of a spa day today.
Cheers to us,
Let's go get those gowns on.
After coming so close to gold in Miss SA 2020, Natasha was demoralized when she placed second. But with some encouragement from Enrico, she returned to the Miss SA pageant in 2023 and took her crown.
How did you manage to come back? Where did that perseverance come from?
I actually love having this conversation with you because you've been top 3 as well and you also went international, so I feel like I'm speaking to someone who really truly does understand. But I think there's something with especially going internationally where you push yourself. You have to find it in yourself and almost like a lot of self-doubt, a little bit of imposter syndrome. I came back struggling a lot with depression and I've been very open about it, doing psychology since 2021. I just had to remind myself, what is the why? Should I want to go back? Initially, I did not want to go back. And I think you know this feeling. When you come back from overseas, you're like, done, thank you. That was cool, but that was a lot of like stress. The first time when I went into Miss SA, I haven't dealt with a lot of things in my childhood. I lost my father when I was 16 and never really dealt with it. And that was like 7 years at that point. And I remember during my journey, I was asked about it. Very emotional. And I think the emotional intelligence wasn't there as yet. And during Miss SA and Miss Universe, I had to like face things straight on. Like there was no kind of hiding from it. It was like, okay, here we are, you have to address it. And so afterwards, I feel like Miss SA and Miss Universe, in a sense, was like therapy for me, like working through things I never used to. And so when I came back, I just felt a lot stronger in what I had to offer. I put everything just out there. I was like, I'm here to fight for it because I know that I can be a good Miss South Africa. It's tough, but it's worth it.
You were such an incredible Miss South Africa, and whenever your name pops up, my mind immediately goes to resilience because it takes a lot to do what you did. I feel like you changed the brand of Miss South Africa. You did incredibly well. And I know that if anybody who has entered Miss South Africa this year were here, they would like to know what piece of advice you have for them. Do you have anything you'd say to them?
I'm going to speak out of a perspective like what I would have wanted to hear after the first time, because I think it's always like, just be yourself. You always get that advice, like be authentic, da-da-da. I think the one thing that truly helped me is kind of making peace with the fact that you submit to being vulnerable. And it is almost like a weapon. People think it's such a downfall, but it's actually your like biggest weapon to be able to open up to South Africans. People want a Miss South Africa that they can relate to, story that they feel like their story is being heard. And don't try and be too perfect. That's something I struggled with. I was like, don't cry, like look good always. Like as soon as you submit to the idea of being yourself and vulnerable, it's so freeing. To just be. People accept you so much louder and proudly. So,
oh my God.
I must say thank you to South Africa for supporting me, because I really felt the love and I want other girls to experience it as well.
Much of Natasha's youth was spent working with her mother Nanette as they dreamt up their own fashion designs. Now the two have made these dreams a reality by creating their own company, Natalia Jeffries.
Why did you decide to start the company, and how far has it come along?
It actually goes way back, like really way back. And I used to do modeling competitions on weekends growing up. That's where obviously the dream of Miss South Africa was born. My mother, she didn't do sewing in school, but she kind of did, but she wasn't too skilled. And so she started making my gowns that I wore. And when I was 16 year, like teenager age, I was obviously very persistent on what I wanted. Like, you know, that teenage phase where you're like, I want this color, I want it this way. And so that's where we started like almost doing it together. And when I was 19, first year out of school, I registered the name. I was like, this name actually came from a friend who wrote a book, and in the book my name was Natalia Jeffries. And so it was born there, and actually since today has been such a passion of mine. I love dressing up. A good look, like it immediately gives me a confidence boost. So yeah, I'm excited to go back, because the past few years I've really been kind of pushing it to the side. My mother's been going full on, and now I'm excited to like get back into it. I wore one of my designs recently at an event, and my mother and we put it together in 2 days. So I'm excited to get back into it.
And we absolutely love those looks during fashion weeks. Does Natalia Jeffries have anything else in store for the rest of the year that we can look forward to?
So many people are like DMing me like, start a collection, do a collection, and maybe I should consider. But I'm such a perfectionist, like I wouldn't want to put anything out there. Maybe yes, but definitely a few collections in couture, for sure.
You've accomplished so much over the years. What memories stand out the most to you, and what piece of advice would you give to younger Natasha?
I wouldn't say there's like significant moments, because I think anyone would think, oh, it's that night that you won Miss SA. But if I now, immediately when you asked, the first thing that popped up was just me being consistent towards my dreams. I'm proud of that, because I think along the way I could have easily said, okay, cool, this was now enough. I don't want to put myself out there any further, and maybe open myself up for more disappointments and having to deal with that. So definitely the consistency, like that was something that even 2023, I was like, that's something that carried me to the end, was knowing and reminding myself, this is what I have to offer. I won't stop until I get it. Very persistent. People call it resilience, but I'm like, I'm just really persistent. And to my younger self, I've been asked this question so many times. And every time I'm like, I don't really know. I was a tomboy growing up. So if I would have said to her like, hey, your life is gonna make a 360, it really is gonna make a 360, bear with me. But honestly, just, be compassionate with yourself, because that's something that I sometimes struggle with, is giving myself compassion and grace to say it's okay to fail and not feel like you're getting immediate results.
This has been such a beautiful day of not just looking at the window that you allow us to see on social media, but getting to know you so much more. I need us to keep doing these spa days.
Listen, we can make it a monthly thing between you and I.
Thank you so much for joining me. It was amazing.
Oh, and thank you ladies as well.
Thank you.